or right here? No, but
Oh, you didn't say
this
it
one here.
is back down again. Okay, no.
What?
Since I mean, also the light is too much.
Light?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Want it open? All right, let's keep it open then.
Right.
'Cause, yeah, I agree. It is a nice view. I was taking pictures just out the windows earlier. You know.
We'll work with the light.
Exactly. It can.
Natural backdrop.
Yes, it is. And a rare one.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I need to find something. Absolutely. Yep.
Responding at.
Pinaginango.
Yes, back there. Just GDR. If anybody calls.
Like
If not. I mean,
20.
okay, that's good. Matter of just
Yeah.
Ịwa.
I think it's just your phone did that. It did.
Okay. Mahadum, Georgia State University. Fire ụmụaka bụ ife gbasara ịwa ọjị n'omenala Igbo. Ndị Georgia State University na Atlanta si na fachọ ka ha mara ka ndị Igbo si eme omenala ha wee tinye ya n'ọba akwụkwọ ndị Igbo na-akpọ akaịfụ ha. O wee bụrụ ọnwa ka ọ daba n'aka ime ya. Otu o si dị anyị nwere ndị ọbịa ndị na-adịghị n'Igbo. So ụfọdụ ihe m ga-ekwu mmekwu ya n'oyibo mana ka asị ka njiri Igbo bido. Welcome everyone. This is a special occasion for the small community we have here, and we thank you all for coming out. Thank especially Stephen and Ashley for putting this together on behalf of the Religious Studies Department of Georgia State University. The program we're here for is to celebrate or demonstrate a prayer session in Igbo. And in Igbo language, we call it Ịwa Iji, Ịta Mmanya. That is the breaking of the kola nut and the libation ceremony. When the ceremony actually begins, it's going to be exclusively in Igbo because in Igbo culture we say that Ojada no Igbo, the kola nut does not understand any foreign language. But before we get there, I'm going to give an overview of what we're going to do and what the significance of it is for the Igbo culture. And the first question might be, what is the kola nut? As you can see, I'm sure that the majority of us have seen here and know exactly what it is. But for the benefit of those who are not very familiar with it, it is the product of the coconut tree, a tree that is native to sub-Saharan Africa, the tropical part of Africa where Igbo land is from. And it is a fruit that has spiritual significance in Igbo culture. When I was bringing it out, I heard someone ask another person if they had tasted the kola nut before, and the answer was no. But I guarantee that everyone here has tasted the kola nut in one form or the other. Because if you think about Coca-Cola, the cola part in Coca-Cola is extract of this fruit, the kola nut. So if you have had Coca-Cola in your life, then you have had this fruit in a processed form. And by the time we're done, everybody should be free to eat it if you want to. It's very delicious, but at least give it a try. Why do Igbo people ascribe spiritual significance to this fruit? The answer to the question is varied, and from location to location in different parts of Igbo land, you hear many stories, and these stories were passed down from our ancestors by means of oral tradition. So there's no really one that is better than the other, but I can give you one version, and an abridged version of it is that When our ancestors settled back in Igbo land, time out of memory, when people were just hunters-gatherers, before the development of agriculture, they survived on trees and tree products and hunting. And so they ate and tried every fruit. They found out that it had special properties. Every time they had the cola nut, it helped them stave off hunger for a significant period of time. And they found that it gave them energy. And also, as things went on, they began to compare these fruits to the other fruits that they had. And they found out that these had properties that most other fruits did not have. And of course, now we know that it contains caffeine. That's why, that's what the effects come from. But what they did with this food is not unlike what other cultures did, because if you look at the history of tobacco, for instance, tobacco was a product, a plant that was used for religious purposes before it became now a recreational drug. So that's exactly what our ancestors did with the cola nut, but we have preserved that tradition to this day, and that is why we recognize it. And after they realized that they had these special properties, they thought that it must have been a special gift from God. And every time they wanted to make contact with the supernatural, they employed this fruit because they considered it special. And that is the custom we are observing today. And that is why we use it. So who can use the kola nut for prayer? In Igbo culture, nobody is forbidden from using the kola nut. But when it comes to a form, two things involved. There are the protocols on one hand, and on the other hand, the ritual. What we are going to do today is mainly the ritual. The protocol can be vast and varied, and if we start going into it today, we might not live here tonight. Because I'll give you an example. There's a town in Igbo land called Nri. And the town is known to be, the indigenes of that town are known to be the custodians of Igbo culture. And in a public setting like this, if there was anyone from Nri in the midst, he would have the privilege or the prerogative to break the kola nut or defer to someone else. It doesn't matter whether he was the youngest or the oldest or his age or any other considerations. The indigenes of Nri have the priority when it comes to selecting who performs the ritual. And there are so many other things, but we will not go into that. What we're going to observe is the actual prayer of breaking the kola nut. And after I have said the prayer, it will be broken into pieces and everybody will partake. Also, we have two varieties here, the red and the yellow type. The yellow variety of this fruit is not used for prayer purposes, but they are eating for the same reasons, but we know that this is the only one that our ancestors used. This is the original variety that they use for prayer. So it is only the red kola nut that is used. And nobody, again, like I said before, is forbidden. Everybody eats it. And one other ritual that we follow after it is passed out is that when you serve the kola nut to the public or to a guest, it's only with the right hand. Even if you are left-handed, you have to support the tray with your right hand. The kola nut forbids the use of the left hand. And if you are trying to take a piece to eat, please do not use your left hand to dip in the tray, because if you do that, that's the end of the ceremony. Nobody else will eat after you. So the kola nut strictly forbids the use of the left hand only. And so after I finish the ceremony, I will open the floor up for question and answer in case there's anything else you want to know that I have not addressed. Now, the second leg of the ceremony is the libation ceremony. And in here I have palm wine. Surprisingly, I found palm wine. And so after the prayer is said with the kola, you use the palm wine to complete the second handle process. And the palm wine ceremony is a little bit, or the libation ceremony, I should say, is a little bit special because it's more of a personal prayer that is heartfelt. It's more of a supplication by the person who's offering the prayer. So as you will observe, when I do the libation ceremony, I'm going to speak my dialect because I'm going to talk to my ancestors. So that is, we don't see this often because it is more spiritual than ceremonial. The kola nut itself is both spiritual and ceremonial, but this one is just spiritual. And for the benefit of this educational event, I wanted to do the entire ceremony. And I'm going to go into offering the prayer. Again, the prayer is exclusive in Igbo language. Ndị be anyị ọjọọ abịa
Ndewo.
dịka omenala Igbo si dị, ndị ọbịa nọ n'etiti anyị na-echere n'ọjị. Mana anyị nwe onye ọbịa bụ Anthony Alaka, onye na-anọchite ndị Naịjirịa niile na Atlanta. Ọ kwanyere anyị nnukwu ugwu ebe a nọnyere anyị, ya bụ na anyị enye ọjị ka a wee nabata ya. Naanị Alaka Igbo ụlọ ọrụ. Dịka m si kwu na mbụ, anyị ga-ebe ya bụ okwu na nkenke ka anyị hapụ imewu usoro ọjị gị na asị ka ọ dịjewe ije otu o kwesịrị ije, maọbụ ka irewe ọjị maọbụ ka akwanyere ugwu niile dị na ya, oge ya ganarị arụ. Ya bụ na mma aga n'iru wee gọọ ya bụ ọjị. Ebe anyị ndị asị na onye wetara ọjị wetara ndụ. Ọjị a anyị ji maka ya wee bịa taa, ndụ ka anyị na-ayọ. Ọ nnukwu ife ọma mere anyị na ndị ụlọ akwụkwọ anyị na Befai Mahadum Georgia State University nke dị na Atlanta si ka anyị bịa merefe omenala Igbo. Anyị wee sị na ya bụ oku akpọrọ anyị na anyị ga-abịa zaruo ya n'isi. Ya bụ na ụzọ a mepere tata, ya bụrụ ụzọ mmiri ga-echiri echi. A sị na ụzọ nkwụ na-abụ omesie ochie, mana ụzọ mmiri a ga-echi echi. Ekpere anyị na-ekpe bụ n'isi anyị niile kwa ndị niile ka anyị wee bịa taa. Etu anyị si wee bịa n'udo, nwere onye kpọbere ukwu, onye nawa ọ ya nalụ n'udo. Ife niile anyị ji maka ya wee bịa wee rapụ be anyị wee bịa, anyị ya achọta ya. Ife anyị eri bịa maka ya eri anyị abịa na ife nyere ya anyị bịa ya kwuru okwu gbafelu maka na ọchụ nwa ọkụkọ nwe ada, nwa ọkụkọ enwere onwe ngwa ọsọ. Ife a na-ayọ bụ ndụ mmiri ndụ azụ, egbe belu ugo belu. Nwa mmadụ emegwere nwa mmụọ, ma nwa mmụọ emegwere nwa mmadụ. Ndị Igbo niile ma ndị ka anyị nọbi na Atlanta na Georgia na Amerịka ma n'ụwa niile, anyị ji ọjị a na-ayọ n'isi onye ọbụla arụ ike na ogologo ndụ, ụbọchị kwuru ụbọchị, izu kwuru izu, ọnwa kwuru ọnwa, arọ kwuru arọ. Anyị eje n'udo na-abata n'udo. Ka anyị ata ọjị a, anyị atata ogologo ndụ, tata arụ ike. Ya wee si enu taa ọjị, anyị taa ọjị, agbara n'anyanwụ na ọnwa taa n'ọjị. Chukwu abịa ma Chukwu okike, ndị ichie ndị na-ebu anyị ụzọ taa n'ọjị. Ife niile na-ejere anyị ozi, ma ndị anyị ma ndị n'anya amarọ, unu taa n'ọjị. Onye si na ife ndị Igbo na-eme adịghị ya mma, ya bụrụ ọkụkọ ụzọ na-abawala. Nwa mmụọ emegbona nwa mmadụ, ma nwa mmadụ emegbona nwa mmụọ. Nke onye na-eje ya na-echeta. Ndị na-agụ akwụkwọ nọ n'akwụkwọ ka emekwefu ụbụrụ isi ka fa na-aghọta ife a na-ekwu. Ndị na-arụ ọrụ ka fa na-agbago n'ọnwa, ka a na-agbago n'ọkwa, maka na ndị Igbo si onye lụọ ya lie. Ndị niile bụ ụmụ agbọghọ nọ n'etiti anyị, fa achọta ezigbo di. Difa na-ebi n'udo, difa na-enetefe anya, fa etie mbadamba na-eri uru dị elu. Ndị nọrọ nwaanyị ga na-ebi n'udo, nwunye fa na-enetekwa fa anya, ụmụ fa na-eto na-arụ ike. Ewee kụziere ụfụ omenala Igbo dịka anyị si eme ya taa. Omenala Igbo ya adịgide na-aga n'iru. Biko ọgwụkwa ka ọra m n'ọnụ, asụ m ndị Igbo fọsoro ịbịa lee n'ụlọ. Nke a bụ mmanya ji wee bịa, sị na onye nyụọ nsị ma ọ nyụrụ amịrị na o nyere ana nri ọkpọ. Wee sị na anyị emerụ ya bụ omenala n'isi. Anyị ji mmanya nkwụ wee datụ dị mmanya datụ ya bụ mmanya ka anyị gọrọ na ọfọ anyị gọrọ na ọjị ka anyị gọrọ na mmanya anyị na-akpọku ndị ichie ndị na-edu anyị ije ndị bụ anyị ụzọ ndị na-ekpere anyị ekpere n'ihu Chukwu ma ilu ndị mmụọ afara echebe anyị na-akpọku nna m bụ ugbu a nwa njọkụ agada gbachiri ụzọ onye debere m anyị okwu mbara ezi na-eji anyị mbara ezi dum eke na n'ichu okoroma ndị be nara anyị mgbe nwụrụ ndị be anyị ka ọfọ soro ibi ala elu aṅụrụ ndụ
Obi, ilo na awọ.
aga na m ọwa ọjị ana m achọ ka m ejidebe
Ya, nwanyị niile.
mmanya mgbe m ndị oyigonye m dị iyi anyị na awara m ọjị m mmezụ m omenala Wellington ọjị nke m wara gbara bọọlụ emechaghị omenala bụ ụzọ ọjị gbali eke ka ya ndị mmadụ enwere o ji m mma So on the tray, you have the kola nut, and you have this brownish paste. It is made out of, we call it groundnut, but I think it's more appropriate to call it peanut butter. The paste is made out of peanut butter and some other ingredients. It's a little bit spicy, but not too hot. Anybody can try it. And the other small seeds are osoji, yeah, alligator pepper, the very small ones. That is also spicy, but a little more spicy than the kola nut. Huh? Of course. Yeah. All these have medicinal qualities, which I don't have the authority to go into. And here we have the garden egg. This is usually brought along to supplement the kola nut in case we don't have enough to go around. But I also brought them all here so that we can have it. Huh? Yeah.
Chief.
Okay.
The palm wine.
We can well out tomorrow.
I'll try the greedy well. Oh yeah. Obi kulo tu kwesi sa ndị ụmụ nwoke fara.
Oh, I know.
I can use that.
Oh.
It's not that. Also, just keep your home.
Obi.
Google. Please, it is not permissible for a woman to dip her hand into the tray. So when the kola comes in front of you, a male next to you can pick one and give to you, or the one who's serving it. She's some getting it. I can give you.
Okay.
Yeah, the man may.
Bring me. Yeah. Maybe someone could not have that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh.
So you serve the milk. Yeah, 1 hour.
No, no, cooking. Actually,
Yeah, I want to do my
what kind of number again? Did you have to make top prayer?
You might try one of them.
Are you still streaming?
No, I couldn't get it.
Okay. Huh?
Okay,
Okay, all right, this is why I'm going to
Okay. I don't know if no more than that.
Don't want to get in your can order.
Yeah, that's why I was telling her. Yeah, I know.
No, smaller, whatever.
You can take out
Okay.
And over one inch, chichi. It's in your orgy.
I went to my neighbor, you always walk. I hear me in a minute.
What's up? I will be trying to
Yeah, I'm going.
I'm leaving.
Ambassador of Canada.
Oh, you
Come on now. Try one, please. Okay.
I know what the cold tastes like. This was easier. And I dip it like this.
Yes. Now you can talk.
Oh, let's complete it.
So we are now open to question and answers. Does anybody have any questions about something they observed or any questions in general about the ceremony? What's your question?
I have 2 questions.
Okay, please guys listen. Okay.
Okay, the first question is what does Isa mean?
You say it's similar to saying amen when a prayer is going on.
Okay.
If the one who's leading the prayer says something that speaks to you or touches you in a special way, you just say, it to affirm that you agree.
Okay. And then the next question is there a difference in taste when it comes to the red kola nut and the yellow kola nut?
Yeah, it's subtle. It's very subtle. If you have to be very familiar, connoisseur in order to taste the difference. But it's basically the same food.
I think the red one is more bitter.
Yeah, the red one is that's a simple way to say it. The yellow one is not as tangy when you taste it.
I guess because the darker the color, maybe.
I'm not sure why. That's possible.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
What are the significance of alligator seeds?
Nothing in particular. It has no significance. It's just it's just a custom. It's a tradition. That's how they go together. Just like also the paste, the granite paste or peanut butter paste. It has no significance really. You can do the ceremony with or without them.
So essentially, what are alligator seeds? What are alligator seeds?
What are they? Is it?
What part of the, like if they're seed, they produce seeds?
It's not from the
That's what I'm trying to understand, what is it?
I think alligator pepper is the English name, right?
It's pepper.
This
In
is
English,
pepper.
yeah. So
Oh, okay.
go
It's
to.
got black pepper, you know.
But it's
that-
pepper.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a pepper.
Okay, okay.
It's a kind of pepper, but it's called
Okay.
alligator pepper.
Got it.
Yeah. So you can Wikipedia that one. And
Okay.
You get more information that I could give you.
I don't know if some people saw you, but when you poured out the drink, can you elaborate why you did that?
Oh, yes. So when you pour out the drink because you are speaking to your ancestors, and in some cases, even with the kola nut, like if you go to a deity and the priest to that deity is offering the kola nut in front of a shrine, before anybody eats, the priest would have to break a piece and drop it in front of the deity so that the gods and the ancestors will eat first before we eat. And like I said, the libation, the wine, is strictly spiritual. It's a prayer. There's nothing ceremonial about it. So when you are using it, you are strictly praying to your ancestors. And so before you drink or anybody drinks, your ancestors have to drink first. So that's why you pour on the ground. And as you could see, I had some paper towels to make sure I drop it, and I'm going to go and discard that paper towel in some strange forest to make sure it doesn't end in the
Landfill.
in a landfill. Yeah. Ordinarily, you would pour it on the earth, on the ground to be absorbed, but we don't have that possibility in this particular space. So I'm going to collect the wine and offer it the way I'm supposed to.
Normally, when you visit an Igbo man in this house, the first thing he offers you is kola nut.
Right. Why?
Yes.
Because the kola nut also has another significance. It's an emblem. It's an emblematic of hospitality in Igbo custom. So when you come into someone's house, the way they show you that they have received you well is to offer you the kola. And if the kola is not present, they could offer you the garden eggs or
Drinks.
whatever else they have as a snack to represent the kola. And just like I did, for those, because when I offered him the tray to take one, I said it in Igbo. What I said is that, okay, I guess I need to introduce him. He is the chairman or the president of ANOG. ANOG means the Association of Nigerian Organizations in Georgia, ANOG. So he is the president, and he's a special guest, and I'm humbled to have him here. In order to recognize him as a special guest, I went and offered him a kola to give to the Nigerian community. So however he sees fit, he will tell the Nigerian community in Atlanta that he was a guest at the ceremony, and then he received a kola nut in their behalf. So whether you are coming to someone's presence in your private and personal community or as a delegate, in this instance, you use kola nuts to offer hospitality, to show that you welcome them fully.
What happens if you order the kola nut and I refuse to eat it?
Good
You
question.
refuse to eat it? Okay, before I get there, you guys also observed that after I blew the kola nut, I took a piece myself and ate. That is the way it goes. Once I ate it and I did not drop dead, everyone else had the confidence to eat, to know that the kola nut was offered in good faith, and they have no fear in eating it. And if I had said the prayers and offered the kola nut without taking a piece to eat myself, that would seem very suspicious. And everybody will shrink from partaking. And to answer his question, what happens if you offer someone kola nut and they refuse to take it? It means basically that they don't trust you, or that there are other ulterior motives. And with the kola nut tradition, also there are so many subtleties, and some of these things I don't know myself, because not all the details about kola nut is written, and the customs also vary from one location to the other. So if you want to elaborate on why you asked that question, please go ahead and educate us.
I think you said a little bit about it, the spirituality of the kola nut. It is a bond between you and whoever you visited. The essence of that, and the two of you are going into a covenant. That I'm coming into your heart with a clean heart, and you are receiving me with a clean mind. So if you offer me that kola nut and I refuse it, that means I'm not coming into your house with a clean heart and a clean mind. So invariably, you have every right now to ask me to leave. So this kola nut plays it's like a communion for the Catholics or the Christians. It's just like a communion between you and God. So that kola nut has that symbolism within the Igbo culture. So if I walk into your house, the first thing you offer me is kola nut, that which is a symbol of bond between two of us. I'm into your house with a clean heart, and you are receiving with a clean heart. So if you don't give me that kola nut, whatever else you give me in that house, I may reject it.
Thank you very much. And okay, before I get to your question, let me elaborate a little bit. It's practically impossible for every single person at all times to always have a kola nut at home. So if I come to your house, you have no kola nut to offer me, there's something you say in Igbo language, Biko akona monoji. Please do not speak evil of me because I did not offer you a kola nut. So once you've said that, then it takes care of the fact that the kola nut is not available. And like I said before, if you have any other item of food to offer the person, you just say, please, this represents my kola nut offer for you.
Just a little follow-up on this question. I was wondering, what's in some occasions, like back home, I noticed that some people, if they're either they're not hungry or they just don't want to eat anything for whatever reason, they just give their blessing by just touching the plate when it's offered to them. They're not really rejecting it. It's just their way of saying thank you. I participate in spirit, but I won't physically eat the kola nut. So what does that lessen the bond that you're talking about, or is that okay to do?
No, what it means, just like if I don't eat kola nut, which some people don't, and you offer me that kola nut, by touching that kola nut, I've committed myself to it spiritually. So I'm telling you, even if I did not eat it, I've committed myself. That's a belief. So by touching that kola nut, that's indirectly you have eaten it.
Yeah, you have accepted it.
You have accepted that.
Yes.
Is there a designated person that splits the kola nut, and then is there a specific way that it must be split?
No. Yes and no. Usually, but not always, it is the youngest person the youngest male in the gathering or in the family, as the case may be, that splits the kola nut and passes it around. Huh? Depending on, like I said, the customs of how you handle the kola nut and the details vary from location to location. But as far as splitting it, it depends on the number of individuals around, because you just want to make it go around so that everybody can take a piece. And again, it may not be possible, which is why we have other fruits to supplement it. But short answer, usually the youngest person around, the youngest male around, breaks it and passes it around, and then you break it into so many pieces as may be necessary.
Can I elaborate a little bit on that? The reason is this, because this depends on area. In my area, the oldest person that offers the call breaks it.
Mm-hmm.
In certain areas, they give it to the youngest.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason is this: they believe that young child is innocent of anything. Because there was a time when people can poison you through the kola nut with their nails. So by giving it to that small boy, he's an innocent, he has no intention of doing anything. So that's the holiest of the holy. So that's why the kola nut is given to the child, because he's the holiest of the holy within that country. But that depends on the area too.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, let me just add to that for my own area. For my own area, the person that breaks the kola nuts is usually the one that will break it. I mean, the person that prays over the kola nuts is the one that will break it. And when you break it, that's when you say the kola nut is,
This many
three
pieces,
pieces
yeah.
or 4 pieces, because each of the, if it's 4 pieces, it means something. If it's 5, it means something. If it's 3. So you pray over it, you announce to everybody, because usually you break it for a purpose, right? So you announce to everybody that, okay, now we have 4 pieces, which means we're all going to stay together and be united for a long time. It's not, you're not going to pray over it and give it to somebody else to do the announcement for my own part. So,
Where you're from, do they split it lengthwise?
Yeah, I have a.
yeah,
Or,
usually like
because,
that.
yeah.
But then again, depends
What if
on,
you don't have it?
to your question, your question was who will break it, and typically kola nut is broken in the home.
Of course.
Usually you're gonna have 1 or 2 guests, right? So the person will provide and break it, and then it's split into 3, 4, and each person gets a loaf, right? When you go to more formal functions like wedding, the person that will provide will break it, symbolically, and announce it, and then they'll have
Multiple people.
young people or whoever, designated people, cut it off and share it.
When it comes to, let me contribute to that area, when it comes to splitting the kola nut, it is crucial. And the elders among the Nzes and the Ozors and Ezes, they have the right to fine you any amount. The kola nut may have been purchased 50 cents, but when you split it in the wrong form, you could get a fine of $1,000 for not doing it right.
That's what my dad said.
Yes.
Lengthwise for
Lengthwise.
long life.
Yes. So it cannot be sideways.
Yeah.
So that's all I want to say there.
Yes.
I believe you can break it up lengthwise. I mean, if it's a large gathering, then you can
You can
break
start.
another half, like still lengthwise, but another
Crossways.
in 2, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like after you split it in half, then
Yeah, you break
one
it, the
more.
break
Yeah.
But no more than that.
Mm.
No more than that.
Yes, thank you guys for the contributions. Do we have any other questions? Okay.
Can you please explain the significance of your ensemble?
My ensemble?
Is there any specific meaning behind anything you're wearing? I don't know.
This is a traditional Igbo attire. I
What's
don't
it
know-
called?
Huh?
What's it called?
Uh,
Who wears it?
It is called Isiago, which literally means a tiger's head.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look close, I don't know if you have a tiger's head represented in this.
Mm.
Is that
Lions. Lions.
Lion.
They're the same thing.
Yeah,
Exactly. They're both.
Usually they are used interchangeably, but lion is Odum and tiger is Ago. So when you say it Isiago, the correct interpretation is a tiger's head, but more often than not, you see a different cat, usually a lion represented with that symbol. But Isiago literally means a tiger's head. So this is a traditional Igbo attire. Back in the days, it used to be only people who have status that you will usually see wear this. But in this age of Igbo Renaissance, young people are embracing new culture. en masse, and some of the older traditions are no longer being strictly adhered to. But for someone like me, I'm very happy to see everyone wear it as long as they respect it than the time when most of the people, almost everyone was turning away from our culture because Christianity was seen as being mutually exclusive with our culture. But that is all I can say. And these are beads that go with the Isiago. Yes. Yes, go ahead. You want to say something?
Yeah, in terms of the dressing, I know based on what you said, things have changed, but they have not changed completely. When you lived in the Western world here, you can put on whatever you want to put on. But when you go back to Igbo land, and there's a traditional ceremony going on, if you don't fit into that category of people to put on this thing, you can never do that. Because you're going to be in trouble. So outside the traditional area, you can do that as fashion. But every of this thing that is putting on there means a title to someone. So if you are not given that title and you are within the ceremonial area, you can put it on.
And it's all the more so with the red cap, which goes more with this. But because this is a formal occasion, I didn't feel comfortable. Or not just that it's normal, it's an educational event. I didn't deem it fit to put on a red hat. This one, you can get away with this hat more than with the red hat. The red hat, everybody knows strictly, you do not put it on if you don't have a title. Like he said, if you are in the city or the urban area where nobody knows you're fine, you can dress as you see fit. But you go to where you are known and people who know you and recognize you and see you with a red hat when you are not qualified to wear it, then you can get in serious trouble with the community. Yeah. So if you don't know what the red hat means, looks like, you can just go on Google, type in Igbo attire, and you will see a picture of a complete attire with the hat. Is there anything I'm missing? Yes. Phonology. Okay. Yes.
Well, yeah, I know the rituals vary in different parts of Igbo land, but does every single Igbo person participate in the offering of kola nut?
Every Igbo man.
What Igbo man?
Yeah, can offer the kola nut. It depends on the circumstances. If we have a public gathering here, if I wasn't the one who is teaching this class, I wouldn't be the one offering it. I was able to offer it in my capacity here as the host, because in this instance, it belongs to me. But under normal circumstances, it's usually, first of all, someone from Umri will be asked permission to offer the kola nut, and if he wants to defer it to someone else, he can do so.
No, I'm saying.
And
I'm sorry.
yeah,
I was saying, is like every Igbo community, do they participate in the offering of kola nut? Like whether it's Umri, Oka.
Yeah.
Every single.
Yeah, in every Igbo community,
Okay.
and even beyond Igbo land, actually, in other parts of Nigeria, they also recognize the kola nut, but no, there's no other tribe or ethnic group that offer it, recognize it in a spiritual sense as much as Igbo people do.
They don't like us, sis. We are excluded.
I think it's very, very important to note that traditionally, when you go to a compound, the oldest person in that compound, every morning whenever he wakes up, the first thing he does is to go wash his hands, clean his face, and take a kola nut and offer to the gods every morning. So it's more, too much of a spiritual thing. So you offer that God praise, asking God and their godfathers and their ancestors to guide you in whatever thing you're going to do before the Lord that day.
And in my community, from Isu in Ebonyi State, we have almost every compound, including my own compound, has a gemstone honor, Ubuto honor, in the middle of the compound. In my dialect, we call it Anobi, or that is what represents the Anobi, the homestead. And that is actually where the family head goes in the morning to drop a piece of the kola nut on the family tradition. So she was the one actually who went to the Adobe every morning and at every special occasion to offer food and kola nuts to the ancestors at the Adobe. Yes. That is a good question. Back in the days, all over the world in human history, evolved as a very patriarchal species, which means that humans recognize a man more than a woman. And it's the same way almost all over the world. And I'll give you another good example, even in the Bible. If you look at the Bible, all the priests in the Bible changed. Some churches have adopted or modified their doctrine, I should say, to allow a woman to be a priest. But some churches or some religions still maintain a man that is allowed to put a hand in the kola nut tree. Title. Because, for example, if a woman is a queen, or the equivalent of a queen, or you go to her and she call a nut and keep to herself, you can actually offer the prayer. So there are exceptions. It's not 100% exclusion of women from touching the kola nut or putting their hand in the tree. There are some exceptions. So I guess in that case, I can say that we're even more advanced than Christianity. Than traditional Christianity, I should say. Yeah.
The title of the queen, what is instrument about in the colonial era, when they have the warrant chiefs. But before then, at a woman at a certain stage in life will be given a title, she's spiritual ceremonies, and then once she crosses over to that level, she's not a man. She does this thing that the men do. But you have to belong to another group to do that. So it's not just exclusively allowed to perform certain rituals within the community. Because, just like I said, it's not just the color, no, there are other offerings and sacrifices that you give to the gods.
Like chicken.
So even for women, if you have not attended that level and you are supposed to perform that ritual, you have to go and look for a man to come and perform it on your behalf. But if you have attended that level, you can do it without man present.
Yes, thank you very much. And a good example of that will be if you read Chinua Achebe's novel, Things Fall Apart. I can't think of the name of that deity or that woman, but there's a female priestess in the narrative. If you remember, the one who came and took one of Okonkwo's daughter one night, and Okonkwo's wife had to follow them all the way to the temple, to the shrine of that deity. So yes, a woman of that capacity had, like he said, had attained a level where she could offer sacrifices and perform the functions of a man with a kola nut because she's a priestess and she's only subject to the deities at that point. Okay, so we are, the time is closing up on us. So, any other questions before we round it up? Yes. Okay, go ahead. You have any questions?
Yeah, I was trying to find out what you call the libation in Igbo.
Ịta Mmanya. Ịta Mmanya. Ịta Mmanya. Yeah. If you get the flyer to, yeah, it's spelled out there.
Okay.
Ịta Mmanya. Mmanya is drink and wine. Yeah, when. Yes. Okay. So, any other questions? In the next Igbo class that I'm going to teach, I haven't seen the schedule yet. I don't know when I'll be privileged to teach again. But whenever that will be, for those who are regular participants in the Igbo class program, we will go over this again for the entire class because not everyone who wanted to be here today was able to make it. So we will review this and review our previous class whenever I'm scheduled to teach again.
I thought you were going to post a video.
Huh?
Only post a video.
It's just live streaming.
Yeah.
And once the video becomes available, I will share access, the link to the video with the group. So thank you all, everybody, for coming out, coming to downtown Atlanta in rush hour. It's no joke. So
Anything for Obi.
Please, on behalf of the Nigerian community, I would say thank you for what you're doing. I think this is one of its kind. To be honest with you, when you told me about it, I couldn't miss it for anything. And I'm very, very fortunate to be here with you to perform this. And thank you for all you have done to retain the Igbo community, Igbo's custom and tradition. It's not just the Igbo custom and tradition, we are creating awareness to other tribes to remember their own culture and tradition as well. So thank you very much and keep it on.
Happy to do it. Yeah. Okay, and also, once again, I thank you. Could you please stand up, Stephen and Ashley? Yeah, for giving us this platform. And they will obviously edit what we have done today. And yesterday we had a longer interview session where they asked me a lot of questions. And the information is going to, the audio file is going to be archived with Georgia State University, with the Department of Religious Studies. And again, if I get access to them, I will share with the group. And I want to thank you guys for giving us the platform to put our language and our culture on the map of Atlanta and Georgia State University. We look forward to working with you in the future, and we're happy to do this and any other similar events that you deem fit. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The next one will be traditional way of getting married.
Oh, man.
Many parts, you see.
The first part.
Yeah, we discussed yesterday about Ịwa Iji, the New York. So maybe next year, if not this year, I will try to facilitate that so we can see how to put an abridged version of the ceremony together so that you guys can come and witness it and record it for the archive as well.
Obi, your name Stephen Mmanya.
Steven? Someone is suggesting you come and try your palm wine. You don't have to.
But it's good.
Yeah.
I do too. Yeah. Yeah.
Excuse me, you drink alcohol?
Growing in Nigeria,
yeah, but this is a good one.
This is a good one.
Where do you get the palm oil?
It's bottles from West Africa and shipped here. It doesn't grow in this climate.
Right?
it's literally from.
Actually, you should try.
Actually,
Just taste it. Yeah. Taste a little.
You ever heard of